Have you ever had a friend who borrowed money from you and promised that he would pay it back the next day? But he tells you that he'll pay it again the next day, yet still won't? Which as a result, the cycle continues until he never pays it back? That is lying. Infuriating, isn't it? However, did you know that the very same problem has become disturbingly rampant in the media, not just in the Philippines, but in the whole world? That, my friends, is known as fake news. Fake news, as defined by Cambridge Dictionary, are false stories that appear to be news that are spread on the internet that are usually created in order to influence political views and agendas, or as jokes. So why has it become such a big problem? With the evolution of the digital age, the use of digital devices and the internet as a means of communication and information has been growing exponentially. Whether it be news or talking about with your friends from far places, the internet has become one of the most prominent mediums to do it. However, some people have also exploited this opportunity to share fake news and confuse the public. Have you ever heard about Paul Horner? He was the writer responsible for the news about a man stopping a robbery in a diner by quoting Pulp Fiction. Unsurprisingly, it was all fake news. Or how about the fake news about the supposed date of the UPCAT test that was thought to be true until debunked by the UP organization themselves? These are all but a few examples of fake news. However, these kinds of news have been continually increasing. In fact, statistics from the United Global Statistics say that 76% of all news is actually fake news in the year 2017. But you may be asking, why would people create fake news? Well, there are three primary reasons for fake news. The first of these is so that people could promote an idea or an agenda by telling lies about it. This would influence people to be more inclined to think a certain way or to believe a certain thing. The second of these is because some fake news websites have advertisers that pay them for every person that would click into their website and see their advertisements. Fake news websites create misleading or false headlines and news in order to trick people into clicking into their website. The third of these, and possibly the worst, is simply for the sole intent of jokes or public confusion. Some people just want to see the world burn. But how can we know whether the news presented is fake, and how could we prevent fake news from being even more rampant? Luckily, the International Federation of Library Association and Institutions has provided us with 8 simple steps in spotting fake news. For the first step, consider the source. Check the site, its mission statements, and contact info. For the second step, read beyond. Some headlines are made to be outrageous and amazing to trick you. See the full story before assuming things. For the third step, check the author. Do a quick research if you can. Is the author credible? Are they even real? For the fourth step, check the supporting sources. Click the links given by the article and see if the information in the link actually supports the story. For the fifth step, check the date. If it happened a long time ago, it most likely has a little to no relevance on the current events. For the sixth step, is it a joke? If it seems too out of this world or outlandish, the article might be satirical. For the seventh step, check your biases. See if your own beliefs could affect your judgment. Lastly, the eighth step, ask the experts. This one's obvious. Ask a librarian, professional, or consult a fact-checking site. If all else fails, compare it with other news sites if the story matches with theirs. If it does, there is an increased chance that it could be legitimate. Now that you know how to spot fake news, you might ask, what could I do to prevent this from spreading or being worse than it already is? One thing that you can do is to warn people about the news article or the news site itself. If an article or a news site gains a bad reputation, chances are there would be less people willing to hear what they would say. Also, avoid sharing news or headlines before identifying if it is fake or not to avoid misinformation from spreading even further. And ultimately, avoiding fake news is the best way to fight it. But will you? Oh, by the way, this video contains one false statement. Let's see if you can find it.